Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Koss and I'm doing this presentation today on my final project for a class at University of Advancing Technology, and the class is CSC 275 C++ Part 2. So in this final assignment I had to make a program and it had to have certain things in it. So I'm going to demonstrate my program now and hopefully you guys will like it. So the name of the program is called My Pet Farm, and what it is a simulation of a farm that you can raise pets, and you can just imagine any pet you want. So it's kind of open-ended like that. It starts off by giving you a title right here. It says the title screen, and it tells you welcome to my pet farm, where you can raise your own virtual pets. Then it has a set of directions, and basically what it says is that you're going to be responsible for a certain amount of pets, and you have to raise these pets. And if you do a good job, they're going to grow into adults, and you'll get rewarded for it. You'll get 100 points for each pet you successfully raise to an adult. If you don't do a good job, well, then those pets kind of end up on the other side, so to say. So we really don't want that to happen, do we? So we're going to try to do our best and raise some pets. Then it goes into my menu here, or the menu for the simulation. It's really simple. It's a yes or no question. If you hit yes, then it's going to start a loop, and it's going to get into the game where it's going to instantiate a certain number of pets. And each instantiation is going to be handled by a thread. And each thread is going to run independently and execute one after another. When one executes, the others are going to hold until that one is finished, and then it's going to go right on down the line. So after all your pets are dealt with, what's going to happen is it's going to come right back to this introduction screen. Okay, but there's a set of variables that are stored, so score and stuff like that's going to be stored. So when you click no, it's going to basically give you your score before you go, and I use that with pointers. So let's begin. So let's say yes, and let's start looking at this program. I hope you guys like it, because I kind of do. Okay, so here's what's happening here. So it's going to populate a certain amount of pets, and once it's done with that, some time will go by and it'll tell you that you need to press any key to continue. So that means that it's done populating the three pets that you're going to raise. There's 3 of them that you're going to raise. So let's press continue and see what happens. Okay, so now the first baby pet is born. And how this is handled is like this. I have one abstract class that we don't call. And we use that as basically a placeholder for some variables like your health and your hunger and your age. And then what we do is we have 3 different child classes. Each child class is a different animal. Okay? So there's not going to be any 2 that are going to be alike. And I do that for polymorphism reasons. It was just easier to do it that way and to be able to fulfill the requirements for this assignment. And I think that I did a good job, but we'll see. So the first pet is born, it's instantiated, and it's opened by a thread. And there's a locker in the thread, a mutex. I use a mutex. That opens it in the beginning and then locks it. Well, I'm sorry, it locks it, and then it'll release it at the end once this pet is taken care of. And how it works is you have to go through the life cycle of each pet before the next one is going to instantiate. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because that's how it works. So let's get involved with this. Let's name our first pet Sid. I like the name Sid. I don't know why, but I do. Boom. Okay, so now you have your baby pet, and he says his name is Sid. His health is 3, his hunger is 3, and that's kind of right in the middle, and his age is 1. So you have 3 options with this. You can feed your pet, you can play with your pet, or you can ignore your pet. And each one is going to have an effect on your pet. So we really want this one to survive because it's our first pet. We want to do a good job. So let's start off by feeding him. So you feed him. Now if you watch, when you press the key, your health kind of goes down, but your hunger goes up and your age goes up. Each time you do something, it's kind of turn-based. So each time you do something, your stats are going to change. You're going to get a little bit older. You're either going to get hungrier or healthier or vice versa, depending on what you do. So let's continue, and we're going to play with the little Sid here. So we play with Sid. Now his health went up and his hunger dropped because you didn't feed him, but you played with him. Okay. So he's still at the middle. So everything's good. So we'll feed him again. Hopefully he doesn't get fat. And boom, he's still okay. So his health dropped a little bit, but as long as it's above 0, you're fine. If it reaches 0 or below, with either your health or your hunger, he's dead. And you don't want that to happen. So we better play with him. Okay. So we play with him. Now, because of the fact that age went to 5, he became an adult and you got 100 points. Now he's done with. We did our job. We raised him as an adult, and I feel very accomplished and proud. How about you? I hope you do. Now we have our second pet. He's been waiting for a long time. We're going to name this pet Alex. Okay, Alex. But unfortunately, Alex isn't going to be as well off as Sid was. Poor Alex is going to get ignored. So we're going to ignore Alex. And his health and his hunger drops, and his age goes up. We're going to ignore him. And he's getting older. You think he's going to survive? I mean, sometimes these guys can survive on their own. Sometimes they can't. You know how it goes. But let's try it one more time. So we ignore him. And he died. Not only did he die from poor health, but he also died from hunger. So each variable is controlled separately, and how it works is if your health is above 0, you're gonna live. If it's 0 or less, you pass on. So he didn't make it to an adult. We don't get any points. Sorry, Alex, but you gotta go. All right. Now we have the third pet. So let's make a girl. All right, we're going to name this pet Sally. Sally's healthy, and she's hungry, and she's a little baby. So we're going to do a little bit of everything here and see what happens. We're kind of busy right now, so we're going to ignore her. So her age goes up, and her health and her hunger go down. Let's feed her. We fed her. Okay, now her health is at 1, so we got to do something about that. So we need to play. That's kind of an emergency situation. So we play, and we're going to ignore her. Well, Sally was able to make it to an adult, and now your score is 200. So we went through a cycle of 3 pets. We successfully raised 2 of them. 1 of them didn't make it. Now it's the end of the simulation. So if we hit any key, it goes back to the pet farm introduction screen. And you can play again, and it'll keep track of the scores still and keep adding. You can play as long as you want. You can have 100,000 score if you want, or you can end it. Let's end it. And that is pretty much the end of the game. So it jumps out of the loop, because what happens is if you hit no, the main game loop is a do while loop, and it is controlled by a boolean that says that as long as the end game is true, we're going to continue to play. If it's false, then we're going to jump out of it and thank you for playing, goodbye, here's your score. So that's what happened. And that's the end of my presentation. Um, there are a couple of things that I did want to say. There's a lot of exception handling in it. I use a lot of try-catch statements. And the scores are handled by pointers. I do have some encapsulation in there, some polymorphism. The polymorphism is basically, are you the first pet, second pet, or third pet? Because it kind of tells you, I'm your first baby, I'm your second baby, I'm your third baby. I use that polymorphism because I'm using the same function to handle that basically. The only thing that I didn't put in this program was file handling, where I was going to actually have a file where you can um, basically save each time that you successfully raise one of these pets to an adult, it'll store its name in a file, like in a text document, and then you can keep track of all the ones that you saved and look it up. But I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it would have been easy to do. I know how to do it. I did not do it because I didn't want to have something happen when I give this to the teacher and the file goes in the wrong place, because that file has to be in a certain folder. And because I'm just going to be giving her the source files, who knows? So I decided against it because I thought that it might do more harm than good. Other than that, that's my presentation. I hope you guys like it. I had a lot of fun with it. I know there's a lot more I can improve on, but it's in a minimal, viable state right now, and I think that's where it should be until, things progress with my programming career. Anyway, thank you very much. Have a great day, and give me an A. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.